Hello everyone. We're going to make this animated web banner using Adobe Animate CC 2019. It's going to be a little bit longer video tutorials, but if you follow me step by step, there won't be any problems of making this web animated banner. Also, you can download the images I'm using on this tutorial from the link I provided. So let's get started. Okay, so let's create new document first, the new Animate CC movie file. Under web categories, the banner size will be 970 by 250, which is the biggest kind of web banner size in standard size, and 24 frame rate, and then HTML5 canvas, so we can play it and view it on any platform. So create. Okay, let me make it a little bit smaller. My screen size is pretty small. Okay, then we need to import the images we're going to use to the library from the downloaded files. Okay, the first we're going to have three SVG files I made: airplane, blue frame, and the logo. Open it. Let's say OK. Okay. So in the library, we see three files. First, we're going to have um, blue frame. Place it. I set everything into the same size, 970 by 250, and then we need to have airplane somewhere here, and also we're gonna need a logo. I'm gonna make it a bit smaller, maybe about that size. So just imagine that this is a kind of a animated web banner of um, what is that? The hypothetical travel agency. So let's say that. So next thing is this one layer has everything. Three items: blue frame, airplane, and the logo. So we're going to assign one individual layer per item. So select all, go to modify, timeline, distribute to layers. So now we have each element on each layer, separate layer. And the very layer one on top, we don't need it anymore. So delete it. Okay. The reason I'm kind of assigning the individual layer per item is much easier to manage and much easier to control. So we'll see it. Now next thing is I'm going to have some kind of a motto. So make a new layer like a slogan. And let me say this is a slogan. Slogan. Okay. Let me type it. We plan you pack. Okay. That's too big. Make it smaller. Maybe for this one, I'm gonna use Helvetica and small, about that size, like a 22, 20. 20 is okay in white. Okay, just regular, no bold. Okay, so we have that. So we plan you pack. Let me move it up a little bit. Okay, we plan you pick. So that's a slogan. Okay, now let's make another layer. This time we're gonna say on this layer, enjoy enjoy of using, I was using Garamond, so I can give some kind of a typographic contrast. One sans serif for one serif. And it's gonna be a little bit larger, like this, maybe a bold. And yeah, like orange color. It's my favorite color. Okay, So we plan UPack, enjoy of. I will rename this layer enjoy so I can tell which layer has which item. And then also let me make another layer on top. This time enjoy of travel. Travel. Enjoy of travel. Okay. Maybe I was kind of too big. Yep, I will keep it like this. So text size I was using, what is the 59? I'm gonna say 60. Okay, enjoy of travel. Okay, or let me make it even a little bit smaller, 58. Okay, looks better. Okay, move it down slightly. Okay, so this layer is gonna be travel. One more layer on the bottom. I'm gonna say it kind of a URL of this company's or website. So let me say URL, and then Helvetica again in white, regular. Type size, I don't know, so let me just type it for now as maybe 18 point. Say the URL we plan you pick, so www.wpyptravel.com. So this is just hypothetical, it's not the real one. Okay, we plan UPack. Okay, just like this. I'm going to move it down a little bit. So for now, I'm just kind of making the layout, like a final view of this web banner. Okay, which is good. And the next one, we're gonna have kind of let's go button in here. So when people click on it, and then they can go to somewhere as a button. So let me make a new layer, and then we'll rename it as a button. Maybe a go button. This is a go button layer. And I will type just let's go. Let's go is okay. And then zoom in. We're gonna have really simple, very simple. The what is that? The arrow using just a simple rectangle tool. So the fill color I'm gonna use. I'm gonna match the color with the another one. So oops. Fill color to maybe orange again. And let me draw kind of a rectangle like this. It's kind of a simple rectangle. And let me draw another one on top. I mean the overlapping. And then using the direct selection tool, sub-selection tool, right arrow, select one point and delete it. And then let me move this up. So, yep, it's an OK arrow. And then we're going to make it as a button. Maybe for the text color, let me use different text color like, yeah, light gray. Okay. Maybe a little bit even brighter. Maybe about this. Okay, it looks better. Okay, so this is a kind of a basic layout. But first we're going to define this let's go with the arrow as a kind of button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these two, cut, because we're going to make as a kind of button, and go to the library, and then let me make a new symbol. This time will be a button symbol. So we can define it as a clickable area. Name, go. Okay. And then just to paste it, set the position like this. And there are two items, text and the arrow. Since we're going to animate this arrow only, we will need to separate it into an individual layer like we did under Modify, Timeline, Distribute to Layers. So there are two. The top one, we don't need it, so delete it. So let's go the text layer. This one is an arrow layer. I will name it arrow. Okay. So let's go text. We're going to just leave it as it is. Text, we're going to animate it. So that means we will have to make another movie clip symbol for that. So just cut, Command X, and then make another new movie clip symbol, this time as a movie clip symbol. I will rename it as arrow movie clip symbol. Paste it. Set the position like this. Let me zoom in. So this is going to be really kind of a simple animation. What I'm going to do is copy this current arrow, Command C, and make another layer on top, and then on this new layer, paste in place. So I have two, exactly the same thing. I proceed. Okay. And then we're going to animate top layer only. So top layers selected, go to Insert menu, Motion Tween, and insert a keyframe. So this is a really good new feature of a 2019 version. The previous version used to have, you have to use a kind of shortcut like a F6 key, but this is the same function, but much easier now. So just click. So we have a second keyframe. I'm going to shrink, move it down, maybe down to maybe 15, frame number 15, and then this one, I'm going to move it. So on frame number 15, let me move it, not too much, just maybe about this. So it does this. Or let me move it just a little more. So it does this. Okay. And then also, I'm going to make it fade out. So on frame number 1, select your top one on your stage, go to Properties panel, and then Style Alpha. I will keep it as 100. On 15, click on your arrow and make it change your alpha value down to 0. So it will be moving and fading out at the same time by keeping the original arrow on the bottom layer up to frame number 15. So highlight the frame number 15 on the bottom layer and insert timeline, just a frame. You can use the F5 key, that's a shortcut. So this is a result like this. Now we're going to have this onto your button. So go button. So double click your go button again. So open it. And then this layer is empty now. Drag and drop the arrow movie clip symbol we just created. Right here. Okay. So it looks good. Now go back to scene number 1. Place your go buttons, because this go button now has everything on this new layer. So go button, select. Let me set the position. Maybe like this. Okay. And let's preview it. Go to Control menu, Test, Movie in browser. The shortcut is a Command Return. See? So I have a basic layout. My button is working. It's not linked yet, but it is kind of inviting by animating like this. Okay, that's good. Now, next one is, you see that kind of animated rainbow bar, the color bar things on top and the bottom? We're going to create it. So, go to main scene, 80% again. And then let me make a new layer on top. I will rename it as a rainbow bar. Okay. So on this rainbow bar layer, let me create a new, insert some kind of really skinny rectangle, no stroke color, and then set the fill color to rainbow fill gradient. And let me draw it on top. Oops. My mouse worked kind of funky. And just like this, not too thick. How about that? Let me zoom in here, this corner. Okay. Okay. And then the tip on the right end of this bar is a kind of a cropped, like a cut in here. So I'm going to make it look better. Select your rectangle with the rainbow gradient bar thing, fill, and click on the color palette. And then this is all color information. The last one, select the red and change the alpha value down to 0. So it's gone. It's a kind of a fading out, which is good. And then in order to make it animated, so I'll select this. Now cut, Command X. We're going to make that as a movie clip symbol. In the library, create new movie clip symbol. I will name it as a rainbow. Okay. And in this new layer, I'm working on the now rainbow movie clip symbol editing window. Insert and then paste in place. So I have this. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to animate it. So first thing is copy this, and then on 1 second mark on your timeline, go to Insert menu, Timeline, and blank keyframe, and paste in place. So we have exactly the same rainbow bar on 1 second mark. I will repeat the same thing on 2 second mark by inserting timeline, blank keyframe, and paste in place. Let me do one more on 3 second mark. Insert timeline, blank keyframe, and edit, paste in place. So there are 4 rainbow bar, but all the same, looking on the same spot. What we're gonna do is we're gonna change the color, the order of this color on second and third only. So highlight the second keyframe, choose your rainbow bar, open color palette, and then just to mix this, change the order like this. But I'm not going to add more color. I'm kind of just mixing. Maybe just like this. It should be okay. So second one is change it. Now select the third keyframe. Repeat the same steps. Open the color palette. I don't know. I'll do whatever I want. Just to mix it together. Just to change the order of your color. Okay. So which is good. So let's take a look. First one and the last one have the same gradient. Okay. Second one, I change the order. Third one, I change that. Next step is just to highlight, just click on any frame in between first and the second keyframe. Go to Insert menu, create Shape Tween. Same thing, between second and the third keyframe, go to Insert menu and create Shape Tween. Same thing on here. Insert, Shape Tween. So it is animating like this. Go back to main scene. On this rainbow bar layer, now I'm going to drop this rainbow movie clip symbol on top here. And let me have another one on the bottom. So let me just make a cut by holding down the option. Let me move it down. I'm going to place it on the very bottom line like this. Okay. And then it looks okay, but I want to make it a little bit shorter. So select that movie clip using the free transform tool. Make it a little bit shorter. And move to the left. So it looks good. Okay. Let me test it by hitting Command Return. Command Return. Okay. So you can see that we plan, you pack, enjoy your travel, and then a rainbow bars is animating on top and the bottom, and let's go button is kind of inviting by blinking. Okay, looks good so far. Next thing is we're going to animate your text. Okay, so let's do this way. So first thing is, this is my kind of general suggestion when you animate your text in Animate CC. What I would do is I always break apart. So that means break apart option is a kind of a create outlines in Illustrator, if you're familiar with Illustrator. And then what it does, it converts your text into graphics. In Animate CC, as a graphic, you can have more control, more effect on it. So normally what I do is from the all the text I have, I will break apart twice. Under modify, break apart. Modify, break apart. Good. Next one, break. So command, the shortcut is Command B, twice Command B. Travel, Command B, Command B. URL, Command B, Command B. Okay. So I have the kind of a basic settings. Next step is, drink a cup of coffee. Next step is we have a kind of a layout and we're going to animate text, logo, airplane, and they're coming in, and then they will have kind of the final settings like this. The best way is I will set kind of basically 1 second animation for each element all together. Then we're going to make some changes. So let's do this. The first blue frame SVG things, since we're not going to animate anything on this one, so on bottom layer blue frame things, just to select the 1 second mark, which is frame number 24, and then just insert timeline, just a frame, or F5 key. It's good. Now airplane, logo, slogan, enjoy travel URL, go button. All of these things, I will need to set some kind of motion tween so we can make some changes. But not the go button, sorry. So from the bottom one, airplane.svg, go to insert motion tween. Logo, insert motion tween. Slogan, insert motion tween. Enjoy of, insert motion tween. Travel, insert motion tween. And the URL, insert motion tween. And then select all these 6 layers. We just inserted a motion tween and insert the keyframe. So we have a second keyframe for all these 6 layers. So now we're ready to move or animate. So we're doing something. Go button and rainbow bar, they're gonna stay anyway. So select the 1 second mark on this 2 layer, then insert timeline, just a frame. So we just keep it. Okay. So now let's animate from the your airplane first. Let me move this up. The plan is this airplane will be kind of coming in from the bottom to this location. So your playhead is on frame number 1, which is the very beginning, and select your airplane, move it to the bottom, maybe somewhere like this. It's a kind of moving, something like this. But I want to change the kind of orientation of this. Select, rotate it, maybe something like this. And then also, it would be better to have some kind of a curved path. So once you place your mouse cursor on the pathway, keep pressing your mouse button and drag it like a push. See that we have now curved path. And then the properties panel, select your first keyframe where we inserted the motion tween and check the orient to path box. That it will follow the path and orienting following this pathway, which is pretty cool. Okay, so airplane is done. Now logo. I will just make it bigger and getting smaller, and then fading in effect. So on frame number 1, my red playhead is on frame number 1. Select your logo, and then open transform panel and make it bigger, about 400%. So it's kind of these things happening. While airplane is coming in, my logo is getting smaller and set the position. But it would be even better if we have some kind of a fading in effect on this one. So on frame number 1, click on your logo. Make sure you're clicking your logo on the stage. And then go to properties panel, color effect, style, alpha, starting from 0%. Getting smaller, but on frame number 24, which is 1 second mark, it is still transparent. So you see that kind of a blue outline, so meaning there's your logo. Click on it, even though we see nothing. And then change the alpha value up to 100%. So this happens. So logo is done. Let's do our next thing for my slogan. Slogan thing, I just want to move it slightly, but also the fading in effect for that. So let me do this. On frame number 1, we plan U pack. I'm going to move it to the right by holding down the shift key just a little bit. So it's kind of coming in like this. But also, I want to change the alpha value, coming in and fading in at the same time. So color effect, my text and my slogan is selected on frame number 1, and color effect style alpha from 0 to select 100, fading in. Okay, so slogan's done. Enjoy of. From the beginning, you just need to make a decision how you want to present it. So I will repeat the kind of the same thing. Enjoy of, I want to, oops, not you. Enjoy. Make it coming in from the right, maybe from somewhere here. Also, I want to change the alpha value so I can have a fading in effect like we did. On 1 second mark, enjoy on 1 second mark, change the alpha value back to 100. So it is fading in and coming in, fading in and coming in. Same thing for the travel. On frame number 1, travel. I'm gonna make it coming in from the opposite direction. like this, and fading in. Back to 100. So this happens. Okay, the last URL. I don't know, maybe we can do this. Kind of the same thing, but I want to make it coming in from the right, but very slightly, very subtle movement. And then let me change the alpha value again, like fading in. On 1 second mark, back to 100. So we have this. Let's test the movie to see how it works. Command return. See? It will basically, by default setting, it will be looping like this. So don't worry about that. We're going to make it stay longer and repeat it. Okay. So we're almost there. The only thing left is the image slideshow we're going to have inside here in this area. So go back. Now we will need to import the images, 5 different images I provided. So go to File, let me import to Library, 1, 2, 5. Image 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open. So check your library. We have 5 of them. Okay. Then now we're going to create movie clip symbol. It's a kind of a, automated slideshow things. In the library, open, add a new symbol. This will be movie clip symbol. I will name it as a slide. Okay. In this slide movie clip symbol editing window, make sure you're in slide movie clip symbol, not on main scene 1 here. Select all 5 images from the library and drag and drop. Set the position. Then, so for now, there are 5 images. It's all selected. It's a kind of a stack of 5 images now. Go to Modify menu, now Timeline, and Distribute to Layers. Excuse me. So see that? 5 images, each image on separate layer. Now layer 1, we don't need it anymore. Okay. So next step is we're going to have some kind of overlapping, fading in and out, overlapping, that type of automated kind of a slideshow things. So we're going to use a motion tween. So let's do this. From the bottom layer, go to Insert menu, Motion Tween, Insert, Motion Tween, Insert, Motion Tween, Insert, Motion Tween, and Insert, Motion Tween. And then since this is a kind of we're going to make this kind of a slideshow, kind of a playing a little bit slowly. So let me highlight frame number 100 on all of these 5 layers and insert the keyframe. So we have this. Okay. Next step is, except the bottom one, we're going to insert another keyframe on 200 frame mark, except the bottom layer. Insert another keyframe. So let me zoom out. So this is what we have. Only the first layer has the time duration from the 1 to 100. Other 4 layers, 1 to 100 and 100 to 200. Okay. So now we're ready to animate it. Let's hide all top 4s. We're going to change the settings of each layer from the bottom one. So bottom one will be fading out. So on frame number 100, here, click on your image, go to Properties panel, Style, Alpha, down to 0. So that means my first image is fading out. See? Okay. And let me lock this layer because this is done. So I want to secure it, protect it. Now, all 4 layers, or all top 4s, we're gonna have kind of a same effect, like a fading in and out, starting from the alpha value of 0% to 100 and back to 0. So that's why we have 3 keyframes per each image, meaning fading in and out. So let's do that. But the good thing is we can do that at a time. So select all 4 layers. Your playback head is on frame number 1. Now click on your image, meaning I'm selecting all 4 images now. We see only one for on top, but there are 4 images. Go to color effect, style, alpha value, starting from 0. Now in the middle, second keyframe, select all 4, click on your image, back to 100. Now the last one, place your playhead on frame number 200, select all top 4 layers, click on your image, and back to 0. Oops, back to 0. So that means it's gonna be fading in and out. Okay, so let me unlock bottom layer. So next step is pretty simple. The first and the second one, yeah, it's a kind of a working fine, but from the third one, everything's happening at the same time. So we just need to give a different kind of a time. So select the third one from the bottom layer, and then keep pressing your mouse button and drag it, and you can see that kind of a starting point of this time segment, and leave it, drop it on frame number 101. So right after second image is kind of starting fading out here. I will do the same thing for the image number 4, the second one from the top layer. This time I'm going to drop it at the beginning of dragging, go 201, like this here. So we have that. Now the top one, so we're kind of building kind of long, wide steps. I'm gonna drop it this time on, oh, that went too much, 301. So it's a kind of a dominance game. So watch this. Let me rewind it. So this is the first image will be fading out, but while my first image is kind of fading out, second image will be fading in and out. Watch, play. It's overlapping. In and out is happening at the same time. And in and out is happening at the same time. Okay, so it looks good. Keeps going. Okay, so this movie clip symbol is almost done. So let's take a look. Let's apply it in my main scene. So in here, let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, what I want to do is I want to have a new layer for that image slideshow, and I want to place it on the bottom. So let's select your top layer first, create new layer, and move this to the very bottom. Just drag it down to the very bottom layer. I will rename it as a slide. Then Slide layer is still selected. In the library panel, I'm looking for my slide movie clip symbol, and let me just drag and drop from the library and set the position. Okay, looks good. So it goes to the bottom of everything. And then test the movie, command return. See? Everything's working fine. We still have some problems because the text animation keeps repeating. And then, watch this. The image slideshow. This is my last image. And it's gone. And flash. There's a kind of a not smooth transition between the first and the very last images. We're gonna fix it. Okay. Revisit your slideshow movie clip symbol. So watch this. By default, all animation we create is supposed to be looping. The problem is once it hits the last keyframe, it goes back to the very beginning. Let me rewind it. This, like this. Okay. So there's a kind of a trick we can do. This is my very first image. This is an image of Arches National Park. Looks like a sunset. I'm going to have this image on a new layer, and then at the end, I want to start kind of a fading in of my first image on top of this, the Statue of Liberty images. So that means, okay, let me create a new layer on very top, and this layer on frame number 401. So right after the this is a kind of starting point of my last image is fading out. Insert blank keyframe. Okay, and then on that blank keyframe, import your very first image on the same spot. I will set the position, and then this image will be fading in. So it can be linked to 100% above the value of my first image on frame number 1. So it's a kind of a, we're trying to make the snake bite its tail. I don't know if this is a good metaphor, but I think it looks like that. So highlight the frame with my first image on top layer and insert motion tween. And on frame number 500, the last one here, let me insert keyframe. Then highlight the first keyframe of this new layer, new image, click on your image, open the properties panel, color effect alpha, from 0 to back to 100. So the last keyframe, this is exactly the same image on my first keyframe. So there will be kind of a looping. So that's why I call this, we are making a snake bite its tail. Okay, let me go back, main scene. So we just changed the updated the movie clip symbol, so everything is updated automatically. So command return to test the movie. Okay, so it is working. Watch the last image, the Statue of Liberty. And there's, yeah, see? So it is working better. Okay, now we're almost done. But everything's happening in 1 second only. We just to make it stay a little longer so people have some time to take a look. So let's do this. I don't know. So 1 second, maybe at least 5 seconds might be okay, or 9 more seconds, so we can have a 10-second kind of a period. So let's do the 10 second. So zoom out. What I'm gonna do is I just need to keep my slideshow up to 10-second mark. 10 second. Okay, here. And blue frame as well. Select both. Insert timeline and frame. So we keep that. It's a kind of a background. Airplane, insert timeline frame. So it will stay there. See? Logo, SVG, and travel, and then URL, everything. Insert the keyframe because we want to make it stop there. I didn't select the frame. Okay. Go button and then a rainbow bar. They're gonna stay there as it is. So just insert, just a frame. I think we were done. Let's test the movie. Command return. And I saved most of the images except my photos as a SVG file, so we can see it stays for 9 seconds. 9 seconds, and it will start. It will start again. See. So we plan UPack, enjoy your travel, and then on the URL. Okay, so that's what it does. Okay, let me go back. I see that. Slide. I think that something's wrong with, yeah. Okay. My slideshow supposed to be fading in. Let me fix it. Properties. Right, okay. It should work now. And back to 100. There we go. Okay, looks better. Let me go back and let's view it again. Okay, enjoy your travel. I'm looking at my slideshow. Okay, this is my fourth image and my last image, and goes back. So it's way better. It's kind of a completely looped. Okay, thanks for watching.